Hi guys! So this video is going to be about must-haves for babies. I'm going to do a separate one for multiples because it's a little bit different, but if you're expecting a baby, in my personal experience, all three of my kids have I would have died without these products. So the first one on my list is a swing. All three of my kids totally relied on the swing for the first few months of life. I don't recommend putting them in there all the time because you don't want them to get attached to the swing to where they're 2 years old and still wanting to be swung to sleep, but that is definitely a lifesaver for if you just need to put the baby down for a second and just like take a breather. Second thing is a bouncer. I have used bouncer for all three of my kids for the majority of infancy. It's just an absolute must-have. The vibrating, I don't care for the vibrating. I'll turn it on sometimes. They didn't care for the vibrating. It's whatever. Just something that you can sit them down and buckle them in to where you could just get something done real quick. The third thing is a bumbo. I know there's a lot of controversy around the bumbo right now, but all three of my kids went through the stage where they wanted to not be laying down, and you don't want to sit there and physically hold them up for like hours on end. So the bumbo was a really good thing to use for that transition stage right before sitting up, to where you could just sit them in there and keep an eye on them and they would be happy. The fourth thing is probably one of the most important things to me, a boppy. It has so many uses, especially if you're breastfeeding, even if you're not breastfeeding, and then when they get older, it helps them as a supported sitter. So boppy is absolutely like the main thing that you need for your baby. The next thing is a playmat. It doesn't have to be one of those fancy $50 singing ones, just some kind of playmat that has some kind of toys above it, to where you can just lay them down and they'll be entertained. The next thing is another must-have for my family, and that is a million receiving blankets. We didn't use burp cloths or anything like that. I don't know what people usually use receiving blankets for, but we used them for spitting up. So whenever you'd burp them, or if they were just spitting up, if they'd slobber all over the place, we used receiving blankets to clean them up. And with 3 kids, the laundry doesn't get done very often around this house. So we have to have like a million of them, because otherwise you're just screwed. They'll just spit all over the place. The next thing on my list is some kind of crinkly toys that make the plastic sounds. I don't know why. I don't know what's so intriguing about that for babies, but every single one of them are just like, oh my God, when they see it. So yes, definitely some kind of toy that they can hold themselves. Not necessarily lighting up and stuff. I never found the point. I never really saw the point in all those light up toys and stuff for babies, because some of them are more interested in a cup. Like, they don't need it to be lighting up and everything. You could just hand them a piece of plastic and they'd be happy. The next thing is some kind of baby carrier. Lilia and Kyson, not so much Kaden, both went through the stage where they had to be held 24/7 and you just can't get anything done. I love the Moby wrap because I know there's a million different kinds out there. I love the Moby wrap for myself because you could breastfeed in it and it was super comfortable. The downside about the Moby wrap is it's extremely like inconvenient to put on. You have to like sit there and wrap it all up, but it is really, overall I love it and I still use it now. Next thing is a travel system. I know some people don't use this, some people do. For my family, travel system has always been probably the #1 thing on the list. Even for the twins, we have a double travel system, so the car seats click out of the car and into the stroller. With Lilia, we used it until she was like 5 months old, until she stopped using the infant car seat pretty much. But if your baby falls asleep in the car and you want to get some shopping done or something, it's so much easier to just click them into the little stroller. That way you can get shopping done while they're still sleeping. The next thing is a baby monitor. This isn't very high on my list, and it definitely a video baby monitor isn't. I think the video baby monitors are definitely a luxury. If you get one or you have the money to buy one, then it's definitely useful. Like I have one and I used it quite a bit, but I wouldn't call it a necessity. I would, however, call a baby monitor a necessity, especially if you're not sleeping in the same room as the baby or your room is quite far from the baby's room. The next thing is a rocking chair. That's just a must-have for babies. You have to have a rocking chair. Then, I don't know how many other families do this, but all of my kids in their room, we use an air filter. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an air filter, but just some kind of machine that makes white noise. Because our walls are so thin in this house, like Kyson and Kaden are sleeping in the wall right behind me. If I didn't have the air filter in their room making like a constant noise, then they'd probably be waking up because I'd be talking so loud. Oh, and now one just woke up. And then the last 2 things on my list aren't necessarily the most important, but they've been lifesavers for me, and those are the baby nail clippers, because I never could bite their nails. I just couldn't do it. I don't know, like, I felt like I was gonna rip their nail off. I know a lot of people prefer biting over clipping the nails, but I have always preferred clipping the nails over biting. So the baby nail clippers definitely saved my life. And also extra bed sheets, extra crib sheets, because when you're washing one, if your baby falls asleep, you can't just put them on the mattress. Like, you have to have at least one extra crib sheet. And that goes for everything like onesies and that kind of stuff. So I think I pretty much covered all the must-haves for my family. I hope it helped you guys out a little bit. I'm also gonna make things I regret buying video. He has a red mark from sleeping. Did you sleep right there? So those are all the things that were must-haves for my family. So go ahead and comment below what are the must-haves for your family that I may have forgotten, and we could all compare. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.